Welcome to my channel, Level Headed with Levi P. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and set the bell notification to all. Please also share this. Let's get into it.
Don't wait up, I've been working hard every day, living dreams for a pay stub, yeah, straight up. 5 years later, like I said, I would make it on my way up. It's all up, coming from the nation, made a foundation, true stuff, yeah, too tough. We ain't giving up on our dreams, everything is ahead of us. Stay true to your path, it's not where you start, it's all where you're at. It's where you end up when your back's to the mat. Do you cripple the flat or get up off your back? Deliver these facts to see them react. The stadium's packed, they all gonna snap. The motivated attract, the escalated attack, the frustrated hit back. Yeah, we move fast. I wanna change everything. I swear I'll do anything just to get where I wanna be. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. It's automatic, I'm always getting after it. If you ain't working, I don't understand what's happening. It's not enough time just to be imagining. You gotta take some action towards practicing. I know it's not easy, but you gotta get out there. Make your own meaning, can't afford to have doubts. They'll interrupt here, man, I just wanna look out there. The crowd all screaming. I wanna change everything. I swear I'll do anything just to get where I wanna be. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go.
Hello, everybody. Let's see here. Good morning. How is everybody today? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, it may be afternoon some places. Hopefully you can all hear me. I just want to bring up what I'm going to show today. We are going to go back to the park today. We're going to check out the city. The city council stands behind the family, but some things don't add up. I found out, and thanks to the subscriber that sent me an email with who owns the actual park, and we're going to figure out exactly why they what if the camera's work or not. We're going to find out. We're going to put some pressure onto the family, or not onto the family, onto the city here in a minute. If they back the family, which is great. I see in their new thing that they back the family. I just want to bring up this here real quick. Download it real quick. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. We'll get back. I just had to download something real quick. Sit tight for a second. Downloads. Rotate. All right, perfecto. So that's good. Let me share my screen here. There we go. That's much better. All right, let's do a little roll call here. Let's see who's all here. Miami Spice, Iris, hello, good morning. Bling, hello. Nikki, hello. Barbara Hull, hi. Hello, Believe. Who else we got here? Alicia, hello. Let's see here. Kim Olson's here. Amanda Gonzalez. Hello, Amanda. How are you? All right, we're going to hop into it here. We're going to play some of the city council stuff. I'm going to see. I think I can probably going to have to send that to myself to redo it. So I tried to play it over the weekend, but it wouldn't allow me to do it. It's over an hour long. We're going to play that, and then I'm going to show you who owns the park. And then I have some questions, and we'll go back to the park here in a couple of minutes. Hold on here 1 second. I just need to All right. I brought that up here. All right, there's that. Okay, we're all set over here now. You'll have to listen in today to see who owns the park. And Sandra, prayers go out to you. Let's put some blue hearts and some fishes in the chat for Sandra. And that is Lucian's mother. I did not speak with her, but we did text a little bit this morning. Let's keep our prayer hands, blue hearts and some fishes for the mother. I wish Lucian could come home before his birthday. His birthday is on Wednesday, and it's a sad thing. So let's see if we can bring him home before his birthday. So I've covered a couple other missing people's cases, a lot of runaways that happen, and a lot of them come home pretty quickly. I keep taking this one back to another case that I cover, which is the Michael Vaughn case. The reason being is I believe that the way that things are being done by the person that took Lucian is the police act the same way as they do in the Michael Vaughn case. So with that being said, I do believe that Lucian has been abducted. Hello, JDR. Hello, welcome in, everybody else coming in. I believe Lucian has been abducted. If he was in that river, he would have been found already. I don't believe that he's in the river. There is a dam that's further down, and I'll show you on him. So I really feel when the police pull out and don't show video footage that that means the child's been abducted. And that's why we would need to share his face everywhere out there. So we definitely need to do our part. We're going to get into the city council meeting. I'm going to play some of it right now. I'm going to pause during some of it. It's important. The statistics. I did also get a map from another individual. I won't show it as it has their address on it, but it does show how far that trail goes. That trail goes a long ways. So there is more than one way out of there. That would be in the 95 percentile that somebody would go that way. The other thing is, I believe that 211 pray and believe he will come home soon. Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's pretty hard on a family and then get bashed into some groups. And the Greenway is very long. Yeah, that Greenway is a long ways. So here we go. This is Lucian. He's a missing 4-year-old out of Yakima, Washington. I do have a playlist. If you don't know about this case and you're new coming in here, I have a whole bunch of playlists there. And if you haven't watched my one from Friday, you should watch the one from Friday. And go hit the thumbs up on that one. That one needs to be regenerated back out there so that we can get Lucian's name out there. So get his face out there. And by all means, share his flyer. His flyer is important to get out there. So we're going to get into the city council meeting here. They call this the U.S. City Council study session. And this was from the other day. So we're going to key in on this. I'm going to mute out. We'll play a little bit of it, and then we're going to get into why is the city having a study session of the park. We're going to get into that because that's important. And maybe blame, maybe guilt. I don't know, but there's a reason why I say blame or guilt, why they are doing the study session, and this was done the other day. So we'll get into it here. Good question. Yeah. So I think they are behind the family, but I think they feel guilt. And I will tell you why they feel guilt. And hold on here 1 second while I do this. All right, so this is for educational purposes under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976. Allowances made for fair use for a purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarships, and research. So what we're doing here is researching why the city felt it necessary to have a study session on the homeless here. And it's important into Lucian's case why they did this. And I think it's because of guilt. And the guilt is not a bad guilt. It's they feel, maybe guilt's not the right word, but they feel that they could have did better. And this will all make sense here in a few minutes when I go back to where the cameras were video. This will all make sense in a few minutes. And I would really love for there to be another press conference to explain some things that we're all wondering. The homeless is really bad here in Yakima. Yes, it is. And there is funding for it. And we'll get into that here in the city council meeting. I'm going to mute out. We're going to play this. So as this plays here.
Okay. I call the September 27th, 2022 study session of the Yakima City Council back to order.
Can you all hear that? I just want to make sure you can hear it. I'm just waiting for you guys to know that you can hear it. Yes. Okay, perfect. All right, I'm going to mute out and we're going to play, okay?
Next on the agenda, or first on the agenda, is item 3, public comment.
Madam Mayor, we need to do roll call.
Okay, sorry, that wasn't on there. Okay, roll call, please.
Brown.
Here.
Byers.
Present.
Cousins.
Here.
Decio.
Here.
Herrera.
Here.
Lund.
Here.
Macias.
Here. Thank you. So if anyone in the chambers would like to speak during public comment, please fill out a slip on the back table in the back of the council chambers, and hand it to the city clerk. If you are participating remotely, please raise your virtual hand. Public comments will be limited to 2.5 minutes per person and 15 minutes in total. Please identify yourself and the city you live in when you begin providing public comment. The first person to speak under public comment will be Michaela Huckabee.
My name is Michaela Huckabee, and I live in the city of West Valley. I'd like to read a letter to the council members. We'd like to bring to your attention the rising concerns with the family and volunteers working tirelessly to bring Lucian Munguia home. Both search teams and family are uncomfortable and feel their safety has been compromised due to a hostile Facebook group. The page has released home addresses, phone numbers, personal information, as well as hotel and hotel room numbers of the parents and siblings. They have also created files of each of us, posting pictures of the Munguia's home and compiling picture collages of the layout of the inside of their home. It came to our attention that City Council member and former Mayor Patricia Byers has participated in this hateful social media group. Her credibility in the city validates the hostility of this page. Mrs. Byers has compromised the safety of our family and the volunteers with her participation, validation, and encouragement of the hateful and threatening speech blasted across this page. Not once has Mrs. Byers reached out to our family and asked to pray for us on our own family-run account. Instead, when reached out in hope that she would refrain from encouraging this group, she continued to post a final video that allowed a window of opportunity for the slander and negativity to continue. She insinuated the family has no faith and does not believe in the power of prayer. This is very insulting to the family who have nothing but prayer and faith. We pray together as a family daily, led by grandmother Michelle Munguia, who is a local pastor. The city council member is inappropriate. This page has caused destruction and interference with our main goal of bringing Lucian home. She has falsely claimed that she has met the family when in fact she has never contacted the family with condolences or direct support. If she were to request to say a prayer with our family, we would have welcomed it with open arms. But she has rather not and continued to contribute to the page that has brought nothing but slander and false accusations to our family. This leads us to believe contributing to this hostile page for her own personal gain, as the hostile account is more viral than our own page. The page constantly slanders the family's name and does not have Lucian's best interest in mind, which is very clear to those who participate in the page, including Mrs. Byers. We have lost a significant amount of volunteers and outside resources, specifically off-duty Ellensburg police officers, volunteering their time and efforts in bringing Lucian home because of the dangers of this page.
All right, I just want to comment here. I don't know. I didn't see the actual stuff. I think that the family is just disappointed in the Facebook page. And I don't know if we'll get into it a little bit here. I don't know if the council lady that we'll see here in a minute, and I did put my postings here because she does speak out. And there's a reason why I put my thumbnail the way I did. There's always a reason why I do everything. So I want to make it very clear. The Facebook page that they're talking about, there is some people on there that have done this. And if you ever have a missing person in your family, you would feel the same way. The city council member did pray with family members on the first prayer vigil. On the first prayer vigil, there is video of this, and the family members are also in this same Facebook group asking for prayers. Yes, I would agree. We will get into some more of it. I do just think that the family is appalled that so they're saying if you're not religious, hold on here. What kind of believers are they? So they're saying if you're not religious, you don't deserve any help from the community. Yes. That's what I took on what they're saying. We're gonna go into it a little bit more here, and stuff does get cleaned up. And I just want to make sure that we address this. They're saying because of that other Facebook group, it has made people not want to come to the park, which may be true, may not be. We all need to make our own judgment on it. The rest of this live is very important as well. So stick around because this is going to kind of tell you the area of where Lucian went missing at and how it ties into his disappearance. So I'm going to continue on here. So don't make any accusations or go against the former mayor, which is a council person here. So we're going to play some more.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, I would like to respond.
Okay.
And I know that it is not the
So the lady right here is the lady that posted something on the Facebook group. I don't know what she had said on the Facebook group. I don't know, but we're gonna find out what she says here in response to the last lady that just spoke. So just listen and keep an open mind here on what it is, so we all can form our own opinion here.
the customary procedure in the Yakima City Council to respond to public comments. But I want to say a couple things. First of all, that for the family, I am incredibly sorry for what is going on with Lucian. And from the beginning, I have been very concerned. I am a person of faith, I am a person of prayer, and I have prayed from the beginning. My involvement came when Councilwoman Collie Cousins was out working with the family, and a family member requested that we have a prayer gathering, candlelight prayer gathering. And she contacted me because she knows, that I am a person of faith and I pray, and she asked me if I would do that. So I scheduled that for Martin Luther King Park on that first Sunday night. And it was one of the aunts was there. I don't remember who it was, so I'm sorry for that. But one of the aunts was there. We had a really positive turnout. It was a wonderful experience. I really felt like the community extended to the family their hearts in prayer. We didn't do it at the park because they had heat-seeking drones out and they didn't want the candles there, was my understanding. Shortly after that event, Councilman...
So that was one of the questions that I had on Friday in my last live, because I hadn't seen this yet. I had played the little prayer vigil that was held at a different park. I thought it was held at the original park. I didn't understand why they would hold it at a different park, but she's explaining it here because they had heat-seeking drones out there, which is knowledge to me that there's no way that Lucian's at that park. If they had heat-seeking drones out there, they would have been able to find him. Even in that deep, thick brush, they would have been able to find him. And by now, he would have been all the way down to the dam in the river. That's why I say that this is an abduction. And all evidence that I've seen so far that have been made publicly point that he has been taken. And we're going to get into some more of that today as well.
Cousins contacted me and asked if I would continue prayer on nightly on Facebook Live, and she gave me the name of the group that was being posted throughout that time, which is the page that I went on. And so I did that for 5 or 6 nights, was happy to do that, and was on for about 5 to 10 minutes a night, just sharing some things and praying.
So sometimes in these missing persons cases, and I don't know if they've had one over in Yakima that kind of blew up on social media a little bit, and going to the right Facebook pages and stuff. So she may have not seen anything else on there. Maybe she reached out to them, and maybe at the time that was the only Facebook page. I don't know. I haven't dug into that far back as both Facebook, or there's like 3 different Facebook pages, and they all have different little groups, and they all show different stuff. The Find Lucian one that's run by the family is kind of the one that I watch. I do go look at the other ones to look at theories and different stuff that they have there. I have my own theories as well. But you have to take those theories and back them up with facts. And sometimes people can go to a person who shared your YouTube channel, and this live said that Sandra was in this chat. Is this correct? I don't know if Sandra is in this chat. I can tell you this. I sent her this YouTube live, and I have made some contact with her. You also have to understand she's living a nightmare and is probably not willing or ready to speak out publicly to people yet. So you got to give her some time. This is one of the hardest times of her life. And we as people need to respect that. So be respectful of the family here. I think I just think that she was in the wrong place at the wrong time with other people on a Facebook page. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Somebody can tell me that I'm wrong. Hello, Cali Thunder. And welcome in Elizabeth, both the Elizabeths, Marcia and JDR. So we're going to continue playing. Sometimes not everybody understands what Facebook pages are what. There is some good stuff on both pages. As I experienced on my own Facebook page, there was a person that was on my Facebook group that was putting hateful stuff out there. They got blocked, and that's not how I do everything. I was just asking because someone showed that. Thank you. Elizabeth Laura, I'm pretty sure she's probably watching. As I asked her just if there was anything she needed me to cover, and told her to keep her head up, that we're going to find Lucian, and we have to keep hope. So that's very important. So we'll go back. Yes, that's why I wanted to clear some things up. So we're going to go over some more of this, and then we'll go from there.
And encouraging people to be respectful and encourage people to just pray for the family. I was then contacted by someone who said they were a friend of the family, and the family wanted me to stop broadcasting the prayer time. And because I had publicly committed to doing that to people who are following me on the page, I got on one last night. I didn't even do a prayer. I simply said, I've been contacted by a member of the family and asked that, our friend of the family had been contacted by a friend of the family, asked that I discontinue. And out of respect for the family, I am discontinuing that. And I just encourage people to pray on their own. And that's exactly what happened. And so I really didn't, I did not know what that site was. It was a site that was given to me to go on initially to do the prayer time. And so if my involvement then so offended the family, I am incredibly sorry. There was never any ill intent on my part. People who know me will tell you that that is not who I am. So again, I am so very sorry for the difficulty.
So her, and as I was given this, and people in the community have reached out to me through Messenger, and some other places have stated the same thing, that this lady on the screen here is a very reputable person in the community, and they don't believe that she's done a lot of good things for Yakima in their belief, and they think that she didn't mean any ill intent by any of it. She just was trying to help, and I agree with that, and I could see where the family could see it a different way, as bashing was started on some of the Facebook there, on some of it. So, and we just have to look to the future to change what the future is on this case, and that's why I'm here. So we need to continue keeping Lucian in our prayers, like she said, and people will continue to do on their. It's not likely not her who is causing the trouble. It's likely the conspiracy crazies on Facebook. You're probably right. All right, we're going to continue on here.
The pain, the confusion, the uncertainty, and the antagonism that your family has had to put up with.
So, Madam Mayor, can I just make a real quick statement?
Yeah, we would like to get on with that.
Yeah, I'll make it
public
fast.
comment.
I just want to say to the family, I'm really sorry for anything that has come out of that has caused distress to you guys. There was no, for me, came out early on to help search for Lucian, because when there's a child missing in the city of Yakima, he becomes all of our child, and we all want him to be home safe. And I did speak, as I spoke to you guys today, I did speak to Michelle. Is it Michelle? Thank you. Michelle Munguia, who had asked for prayer and possible vigil. And so I was searching, so I couldn't set both up. So I did ask Councilmember Byers to help set that up. In no way, shape, or form were we trying to overstep or hurt or hinder any efforts. So I just wanted to apologize that has caused any ill will. I know that that Facebook site has turned very toxic, to say the least, and become very dangerous for the family and for other people in the city of Yakima that are following it. Just be cautious about what you post. Words are very powerful, and right now the family more than anything needs support, and we need to bring this little boy home. And I think another site, the family has created another site so that you can kind of make sure that the information is correct out there. But I think early on at the time that wasn't clear. I'm going to assume that it wasn't clear. So please correct me if I'm wrong in thinking that maybe there was some confusion on what site was the correct site and what site wasn't. So just wanted to speak to my involvement to that.
And as listeners here and people that are watching this that are in that Facebook group, this happens early on in a lot of missing children cases where accusations and conspiracies and a whole bunch of stuff, it gets real messy real quick in a lot of people's minds until we get all the facts. And the more transparent that police are, the more transparent that people in the community are, the better that it is for the outcome in the cases, because a lot of that stuff early on that happens where it gets real messy real quick really hurts and affects the case. For one, it takes people away from actually watching the actual and everybody's an actual case go on. It's a missing person. I mean, it's somebody's loved one. It's somebody's son. It's somebody's nephew. It's somebody's great nephew. It's somebody's grandchild. So we have to remember that when we're out there typing. I, for one, am not a person that likes to text. I also don't like to, I'd rather speak to you than send text, because you won't, I run at 100 miles a minute all the time. And I'll just assume that you are already seeing everything, and I'll be talking about something totally different. And it goes really, really quick and really, really fast. And you'll be like Lana Westbrook always says, talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old, or talk to me like I'm like I'm 5. Well, that's the thing is I got so much going on. I'm helping other families. I'm in the background helping other families, teaching other families how to post stuff on social media and how to get a following to keep their loved one's face out there, and how to bring it so that people actually are interested in the case and will share their posters and share their faces everywhere to try to bring them home. And if you're watching this and you have a missing loved one, join my Facebook group. Go in there, take a look. If you have a missing loved one, let me know. I'm in there. I usually try to say welcome to every single person that comes in there. I do have some admins in there. Just put up a post about your missing loved one, and I'll grab it. And if you need help, just tell me that you need help, and I can show you how to do different stuff. So Jacqueline Reyes is a prime example. And if she's here watching, she's doing a fabulous job posting her stuff. I try to share and retweet and go on to TikTok and like her post. And I try to go on to Facebook and like as much as I can. I'm only one person here. It takes an army to do these things. So we have to continue doing them. All right, we're going to continue on here. Council member Patricia Byers and Holly Cousins genuinely were doing their best to help and be supportive. I agree. I just think that they went to the wrong place, and it was they got caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, and voice clipping the way easier. Yes. So we're going to continue on here.
Okay. The next person to speak under public comment will be Amy Bailey.
And before Amy speaks, Amy is kind of the one that's kind of taking the reins and talking and doing new stuff for the family. And Amy, if you're watching this, I'd hope that Sandra shared it with you. If you're watching this and you need some help for some other media coverage, please reach out to me. I have some people that have some contacts that we could probably help to national news or some other coverage to it. And we just need to make contact with you. And once that happens, we can get you set up with the right people so that we can get more national coverage out on this. And the more media coverage, the better it's going to be in finding Lucian. Hello, Shannon. Shannon, True Crime with Shannon. I hope you're doing okay down there in Florida. I hope all is well with you.
I'm Amy Bailey. I live in the city of Spokane, Washington. I am the aunt of Lucian. I did have a statement prepared, but after hearing Patricia's comment, I would actually like to talk. You are a very intelligent woman. You cannot play ignorant and act like you did not see those comments. As you were posting a live, you did not post a live video on your own page. You posted a live video on this hate page. As we can see as family members, people talking badly about us on these live comments. As a woman in your chair and in your power, it's very discouraging to see that you would give credibility to a site like this. You knew we have our Facebook page, you know all of our names, you had an opportunity to reach out to us individually, which you have never have. Speaking with my sister at the vigil, she did not come there for support. She came there to let people know that the family will not be there because we are at the site of where Lucian went missing and we will not be leaving. I do not hear you taking accountability rather than shifting the blame onto Holly, who Holly has reached out to us multiple times to give her condolences, to pray with us individually. To us, it just seems very, you say that you weren't intending to be malicious, but for us, it came off very malicious. The fact that you are in this city council and you would think that that is appropriate, with seeing there is nothing but slander and hate on that page. If you check that Facebook once after we asked them to take that, what they're saying about the family. You can see the comments that they are posting on your live videos that you posted. You can see them as they're rolling in. You said it yourself, you didn't even post one last prayer. You insinuated that we didn't have faith and we didn't believe in the power of prayer when you said, for those who still do believe in the power of faith and who believe in the power of prayer, that's incredibly insulting for a family that only has that, especially a grandmother who is a local pastor. You had, again, countless opportunities to reach out to us and post on our page. We weren't asking you to stop praying for us. We were asking you to stop praying on that page because of the dangers that it was providing to the family. We just needed to make sure that we were safe. When we asked you through our family friend for you to stop posting on that page, it was not to hurt your feelings or to make you feel bad. However, the way that you posted the next day, that same evening, it seemed very attacking, like you were ready to attack the family. There was no, oh, let me pray for Lucian one more time. You say you have a commitment, but I don't believe that you do have a commitment to that hate page. If anything, you have a commitment to the Yakima County and the members or the people who live here and their safety.
All right. We're going to break this down a little bit here. And this is nothing against Amy. Emotions are high. They can't find Lucian. All the police officers have left. People are praying. There was a lot of there's a lot of hateful stuff. Everything is moving at 100 miles an hour. Everybody needs to understand that. I don't know when this was September 27th. It is now October 3rd. So the 27th was last Thursday when this meeting was. And I feel that is very, very important. As there is no 101 book when a child goes missing or a child's taken or a child disappears. There is no 101 book. So that is something that we need to keep in mind. I'm going to keep playing here, and I'll be back in a few minutes.
Thank you.
I would like to clarify one more thing.
Can we wait until after the end of the public
That's okay.
comment? And then we have, I guess you can go ahead since Mike is next.
So please understand, if you took any personal offense to anything I did, I am very sorry. There was no ill intent. It was the only page that I was aware of. It was a page that Holly Cousins told me about. I was not even aware there was a separate page, and did stop when I was asked. And I was not offended at all. My response was out of respect for your request, because I do want to respect for the family and want other people to do the same.
They're not accepting of your actions, from the family will decline your apology.
Okay. The next person to speak under public comment is Mike Kay.
Members of council, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you about the homelessness. You're going to hear, the coalition and I wanted to share with you a unique experience I had. I had the opportunity to speak to the Code Enforcement Association for the state of Washington in Leavenworth. We found out through those 100 and some people that were in attendance is we're not in a unique position here in Yakima. Mm-hmm. Everybody's dealing with affordable housing issues. We're actually in an advantageous position with them because of our shelter responses, because of our outreach teams, because of all the different tools in the toolbox we have here in Yakima to respond to homelessness. There was a lot of organizations that were very, very, very envious of what we have here in Yakima, to the point that we've been asked to present to different cities much larger than ours, cities that are constantly on the news that supposedly have it all together. But what I do want to encourage you to consider is that the King County response is not the appropriate response for the city of Yakima or Yakima County. We heard that over and over again from different counties that, the state is kind of pushing this, let's look at what these three major counties are doing and let's copy that. And what we heard from people that were dealing with homelessness, much like your code enforcement officers are, is that the one size fits all doesn't work. Rapid rehousing works for some people in the population, but not everybody. Sheltering works for some people in the population, but not everybody. And for us, I really want to encourage you to diverse response to homelessness, being that we do have some rapid rehousing, we have some transitional housing, and so on, but you're not in a unique position. I heard from a lot of organizations that have a lot more financial resources than we have here in Yakima or Yakima County that are struggling with the exact same thing that we're going to talk about here tonight. I just wanted to share that with you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. I do have a statement really quick under public comment number. I got to find out there's somebody on Zoom first. Oh, okay. Mr. Beeler, is there anyone on Zoom who wishes to speak during public comment?
No, Mayor DCO, there's not.
Okay, go ahead.
Madam Mayor, I just have a statement to make regarding safety in our parks. So at our next council meeting, I will be under other business making a request to staff to put on a future agenda, a study session regarding the safety in our parks. And so just want to make sure that while the family is here for little Lucian, I just want to make sure that you guys know that that's coming and that we care about safety in our parks and that we hope that people find that our parks are safe and can be safer and that we're listening and figuring ways to do that. So that's coming soon.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Mayor, given the circumstances, would it be inappropriate to take a little bit of a recess just to kind of reset?
Yes, it would be appropriate.
Would that be
Yes.
appropriate?
We're going to take a, 5
Do I need to make a motion for that?
5 minutes.
I move to take a 5-minute recess.
Second.
Okay, all those who approve that or
All those in favor?
say yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, we are going to take a short break.
We're going to move on to an important part of this here. Wait till and then we'll touch on some of this here as well. Bear with me 1 second. They have like a little intermission here, and then they go to start playing again.
I call the study session of the Yakima County City Council back to order. I guess that concludes public comment for this meeting. Next on the agenda is item 4 regarding a downtown parking presentation. This item has been rescheduled to the October 11th council regular meeting and will not be discussed at this study session. So we'll move on to the next item. It is a presentation from the Homeless Network of Yakima County. Network Director Lee Murdoch will make the presentation.
So thank you for the opportunity to
All right. Sorry about that. I had a phone call. Let's see what I missed here. The family is upset that so the family didn't want public prayer. No, I think the family did want public prayer. The family is upset. She posted live prayers in a hate Facebook group that was bashing the family instead of the family Facebook page is that. But I don't know if the other Facebook page was set up yet. I don't know the exact facts. I just wanted to show what is going on within the community here. The page she was posting on was the only one up at the time and didn't turn to a hate page until after family wanted them to shut it down. That could be possible. I didn't watch it that closely. That's what you get out of it. Was the Facebook the councilwoman prayed on. Yeah. Yeah, I think in every missing persons case that it turns ugly real quick, and that happens a lot in missing children's cases. Everybody points fingers at the family that was watching them, and when in fact that the prime example is the Michael Vaughn case. Tyler was the last one to be seen with Monkey. Here, Juan was the last one to be seen with Lucian. Why they feel not guilty, but they feel like they're a disappointment because they're the last ones that was in their watch, and you have to give them some time because they're in shock that it just happened to them, and we have to be there to support them as well. And if you haven't hit the thumbs up, please hit the thumbs up so we can get some more people in here and make them aware of Lucian being missing. But I thought it took a few days for family to start their Facebook page. I'm not sure if there was another option at that time. It just feels wrong to blame one person for others' bad behavior. Yes, I agree. The same thing though. So let's make this as a lesson that when you join into Facebook groups that you need to do some vetting. You need to sit back and relax before you speak in there and see what kind of a way that they're turning. I don't know who owns the Facebook pages. I mean, I can find out, but that's immaterial. Even the person that owns the Facebook page, they allow people to have their opinions. I missed all that, not sure what group they wanted down. I know all of it, but at the same time, it's good to have both Facebook pages, in my opinion. It's just some of the slander and the hurt and the stuff that people don't like that were on there. Not saying whether it should be tolerated or not. At some point in time, it was all going to come out anyways. Now that it's done and over with, we can move on to finding Lucian. So that's what's important here is keeping Lucian's face out there, negative, positive, whatever it is, at least show his picture. Anybody that covers this case, at least show his picture when you're talking about him. I try to show the pictures every live if I could figure out a way to do it here. If you see my thumbnail, that is Lucian on there. I missed all that. Not sure what Amanda said. I'm sure there is tons of tension and sadness. I don't believe the council lady did anything wrong. I just think she wasn't aware of the hate there. I don't think she was either. I think she felt really, really bad after the fact, because I think that it got pointed out to her, and if she's watching this, I think she's not a frequent Facebooker, and somebody probably helped her, or maybe she is. I don't know. But this next part into the study session, and this is interesting that they have study sessions, and we're going to get into some more problems that they have in Yakima to kind of show what's going on in the area and see how we can apply this to what we already know in this group. What we already know in Lucian's case, the facts on his case, I misspoke, not in this group. The facts in this case, how we can tie it to what's going on in Yakima. I agree, missed a lot too. Yes, True Crime Tribe. So that we're going to take and apply this in the next couple of days to what I know and what I've been watching. We're going to take and apply this to what may have happened to him or where he may have gone. I do have a very detailed map, but I'm going to have to figure out how to scratch off or have them redo the map of the trail so that it doesn't show their actual address on it, because I think that map was very, very useful. And if I can get one without them circling where their house is, would be great. So we just need to keep Lucian in our prayers, and we need to keep the hope out there. Someday we're gonna find him, and hopefully it's in the next couple of days. I really can't comment on anything on the Facebook mess. Just think tensions are running high with Lucian's family right now. Understandable. Yeah, that happens. I think they're in the phase of, it's been a while now. They're in the phase of like trying to do anything and everything that they can to bring him home. And we need to do our part as a community here to help them. All right, we're going to continue on here.
There's always technical difficulties. It's like part of the whole thing.
It's gone. So thank you for the opportunity to let me come and talk to you about housing and homelessness in the city of Yakima. I did bring packets for everyone. So worst comes to worst, there are copies of the presentation in the packet. And there's also a data sheet in there. So I talk a lot about percentages and, 1 out of 3 and 1 out of 5. And that's kind of a cheat sheet that has all the real numbers of the data that I'm going to be talking about. So out of respect for the next presenter, if you guys want to follow with printed out one while they're working out the technical difficulties, I can just walk through the presentation that's in your packet. Excellent. So on our agenda, in order to talk about homelessness, we must first talk about housing and why the homeless response system matters.
So this is important because right now they're doing a big cleanup of the homeless camps. And why this is so important is I hope that every single person that's cleaning up those homeless camps know exactly what clothes Lucian had on that day and have his flyer as they're cleaning up the stuff. And I think it's this week that they're cleaning it up. And this is very, very important with everything going on there, especially with the way that Greenway Trail goes. So I find this really, really important here.
I'm going to talk briefly about the data and what the Homeless Network of Yakima County is doing to address homelessness in Yakima County. So moving on to the second slide. So what type of housing do we have in Yakima? Okay. Now I'm afraid to click anything. Affordable housing is just one part of the homeless response system. I just want to walk through a few slides looking at the comparison between housing and households in the city. In the city of Yakima, there are 35,763 housing units.
Hold on, any local people here that can, I've never watched a council meeting before. Interesting. Yeah. I want to understand something here. So if a local person is in here and you can answer, and like Amanda, if you could answer this for me, that'd be great. And if you want to come up, you're more than welcome to come up. Or if anybody has anything that to say or wants to go over this with me, or what's unclear to me is was this already planned, or this just happened to come up because Lucian went missing, or this was already a planned, I'm in a work meeting, but still trying to listen. That's fine, Amanda, work comes first. What I'm trying to understand is, I think Elizabeth is here. Elizabeth, if you're listening, was this already planned to have a study session on the homeless encampments because of what's happening this week? Or this was pushed along because I'm sure it was planned. They have meetings twice a month. Okay, that's what I wanted to understand, because this is very important information that we're going to find out here.
It's not being shared yet, is it?
But we have it.
We have it.
Just the folks at home are out there.
Oh, okay. In 2020, 51% of the units in the city of Yakima are owner occupied. So if you look at the chart on there, only that bottom right-hand corner is representative of our vacant units in the city of Yakima. Going to the next slide, there are 33,752 households. So in which is 183,000 people. 29% of those households are single individuals, which is pretty surprising. We have an incredibly high number of single individuals. 1 in 3 are single person households. In that, 4,718 of them are seniors who live alone. So a lot of our single household population are seniors, as our second cohort of baby boomers are starting to retire. So that leaves us with 2,000 vacant units. The next chart shows that only 1.7% of all of those units are available for rent or sale. While there's 2,000 vacant units, only 642 are available. The other category includes units held for occupancy by a caretaker, janitor, or units held for personal use. So we're all pretty aware of the low vacancy rate that we have right now. The National Low Income Housing Coalition produces an annual report titled the Out of Reach Report. Using fair market rent for the area, they calculate how much income is needed to afford the units that we have here in the city of Yakima. This table shows the income.
All right, before we get into this housing, rent 43%, mortgage owners 30%, non-mortgage owners 22%, and vacancy 6%. But before we get into this, I was curious to know that the person that's sitting in the middle in the actual council, is that the mayor, or is that just the head of the council meeting? Is what I'm wondering. So I'm going to continue on, and I think they're all council members. I believe at the beginning that's what they said, but we're going to continue on here.
Income needed for each unit size. And the last column highlights the number of units of that size in the city of Yakima. I didn't know it came back up.
It just did.
And I'm in front of the,
Can I ask a quick question while you're
yes,
kind of getting your
please.
bearings? You said that there's 2,000 current units, but can you tell me how many said were available? 600. I didn't catch that number. It was on your previous slide.
642.
642. Thank you.
So this is data from the 2020 American Community Survey. So data is always a little lagged behind. There are more current data sources for vacancy rate that's put out. But I wanted to make sure that all the data was consistent across the same year. So
why this is important is we're learning what Yakima is. It looks like for a studio, income needed is $30,000. Number of units, 2,341. This was back in 2020. 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom. Looks like there's a lot of 3 bedrooms. There's 12,000 units, 10,000 units here. So there's a lot of 2 bedroom and 3 bedrooms, but it's important to get to know the area.
if you look at this chart, you can see that in the city of Yakima, the majority of the units are 2 bedroom and 3 bedroom. And so 29% of our households are single person households, but only 19% of all of our units are studio or 1 bedroom. So if we go and look at the income of our renters, now this is just renters, not our mortgage owners. This chart shows the number of renters in the city of Yakima and their income levels. 5,259 renters do not have the income they need to rent a studio or a 1-bedroom apartment. The impact of this is doubling up in high competition for available units, which in turn drives up the rent costs for those available units. It's important to note that this data is before a recent spike in rent that some think happened as a result of the long-term eviction moratorium. So we all know that rents have increased significantly. But before that even happened, there were over 5,000 renters who could not afford a studio or a 1-bedroom apartment. So the impact of that lack of housing is that 11,000 households are paying more than 30% of their income towards housing. One of the misnomers of affordable housing that we often hear about is that it's subsidized housing or low-income housing. Everyone needs affordable housing, paying more than 30% of their income towards housing. And housing costs. So that includes interest, utilities, insurance, taxes, and mobile park fees. So if you look at this chart, you can see that more than a third of all of the households are not in affordable housing. What's really interesting in this, and I didn't realize it till I was pulling the data for this presentation, is that includes 1,100 non-mortgage owners, meaning that they own their homes. And, you know, we had a really good example of this. One of our community members was a retired school teacher, and she bought her manufactured home, was on a fixed income, and unfortunately all the lot rents just increased in cost, and she could no longer afford her home. And she has since sold it and left our community. And so the impact of the lack of housing really touches all aspects of life. It impacts the ability of employers to recruit, which impacts teachers, healthcare. There's a lot of, it's not just the individuals that you see on Natchez Avenue. So why does the system matter? Before we look at numbers relating to homelessness, I want to talk a little bit about the homeless response system. The reason I identified those 11,000 households being at risk is that when you can barely afford housing, the housing that you're in and life events happen, it can oftentimes tip you over into homelessness, such as the example we had with one of our members of the network. We ask individuals, we being, of course, Yakima County, who conducts the point in time count, what contributed the most to their homelessness, and the responses remain consistent year after year. It's eviction or lack of housing, family crisis and breakup, and job loss and unemployment. Those have, they change order occasionally, but those are the top three causes that have been cited. So how does the system respond? Homelessness prevention works to address the causes of homelessness before it occurs. This includes programs like eviction prevention or the ability to pay back rent. A lot of programs that we did see an increase of in response to COVID. And in the past, homelessness and services used to focus on serving people after they became homeless only. Growing evidence indicates that prevention strategies help communities reduce the number of people entering the homeless system. Prevention is cheaper. It's cheaper to prevent someone from becoming homeless than to address it after they've already had that happen.
The reason why I'm playing this is so that we get a feel for the area. I've thought that this was a very, very good study session here on what they're bringing awareness to. And you're going to see the numbers of the homeless here coming up. Some of this is kind of dry information, but in order to understand and to help find Lucian, we need to understand what the community is going through and what what's going on around and near that park. Because I'm still at that park yet. I haven't left the park, but somebody that was at that park that day and somebody saw something and they need to come forward. And we need to find Lucian. And that's what's important here. So we need to continue to see. And I suggest for the family to, if I know that the House of Hope, which was down the road, had put up $1,000 for Lucian, but you need to be hitting up some of these homeless places and speaking with some of the people. Somebody there in that park saw something that day, and all it takes is for that one person to speak, but you're going to have to find that person. I don't think that they have access to social media. I don't think that they have access to TVs. Heck, I don't even know if they realized when they shut down the park and police were searching who they were searching for. So that is one of the things that I know it's dangerous, and you're going to have to figure out a way to go in there and search into those homeless encampments that there is all along that river. Somebody saw something that day, and they just need to come forward. And even if it wasn't a homeless person that saw something that day, whoever saw something that day is just the slightest thing that can put everything together to bring Lucian home. So we're going to continue on here.
Rapid rehousing gives short-term rental assistance and services. The goal is to help people obtain housing quickly, and that's really all rapid rehousing is to make sure that, to coin the theme line from the county's 5-year plan, that any homeless episode is brief and rare. That rapid rehousing means we want to get individuals into the appropriate permanent housing as quickly as possible. That appropriate housing could look in a lot of different ways. It could look like permanent supportive housing, which is housing with intensive wraparound case management services, such as provided by Next Step Housing and some of our other providers. It can look like subsidized housing or Section 8 or vouchers or programs where you pay a third of your income. But rather than the old system, which we had back about 10 years ago, where there was a belief that individuals needed to address all of their concerns before they could be permanently housed. Rapid rehousing means you're more likely to address those concerns if you have permanent housing. So how do shelters and transitional housing fit? They're absolutely necessary to be a part of our homeless response system. 10 years ago, terms emergency shelter and transitional housing were time-limited terms. You used to only stay in a shelter 30, 60, 90 days to address acute needs and then be transferred to transitional housing, which is a 1 year or 2 year program. Some of those terms still exist for transitional housing, and both of those are in our community and are still needed. But ideally, we want to, looking at this graph on the chart, we want to make sure that we are shortening the pipeline of people entering our system and widening our pipeline of people leaving the system. Prevention, stopping people from needing emergency shelter and transitional housing is imperative. We don't want people to be experiencing homelessness. And rapid rehousing is making sure that there's availability for that crisis response should someone experience it.
Madam Mayor, can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Thank you. You said it used to be shelters were 30 to 90 days to traditional housing to the 1 to 2 year, or at least the terms. Has that changed? Is that what or is that still?
Well, the continuum of care of housing used to be you would do outreach, you would be directly have a crisis response to an emergency shelter, and then go into transitional housing and address whatever issues influenced your homelessness. And then you would be well enough to go into permanent housing. So that's the shift.
I just wondered if there was an update on the timing and what it looks like.
There is an update on the time. I mean, there's not an update on the expectation because unfortunately, as Mike said, which I wholeheartedly agree with, across the country, the lack of housing has made that impossible.
Right.
There are literally not enough units to put people into. So the expectation that we would have 30, 60, 90 day stays in emergency shelter are just not possible because we don't have the units to transfer people into permanent housing.
So what that means is that more people are on the street is what I'm taking from this. And I could be wrong. And if anybody else has opinions here, by all means, I'm just going to play a little bit more of this. Then we're going to go back into maps of the park and look at some other stuff, okay?
Or the permanent supportive housing programs with which, to provide them much needed wraparound services.
Sure. It's an inventory issue, clearly. Right?
It is an inventory issue.
I just wondered if we knew how long, in a shelter, 30, 60, 90, what's the average look like now? Do we know?
Oh, we have that coming up on the slide.
I'm sorry.
We do have that.
I will wait.
So why are people still outside? So in 2015, there were dedicated sweeps along the river, driving those who were sleeping outside into the more urban areas of the county, making them more visible. The response at the time was to increase our emergency response and try to get people into some form of shelter as quickly as possible. But in order to do so, unfortunately, many of our prevention and rapid rehousing options were defunded. During those years, our system lost 164 units of permanent supportive housing. We've also lost a significant number of transitional housing units. And so the increase, there's a finite amount of funds. The unfortunate impact of that is that pipeline from prevention to emergency response got bigger. More people are coming through. This is in combination with being economically distressed and now COVID and a variety of other factors that are influencing that. And we're making the pipeline into permanent housing more narrow. It's harder to find housing for people. If you recall, we had 642 vacant units. What should it look like? Ideally, we want to shrink the need. And it's very important that I say that word, the need, for a large emergency response system. And we have robust prevention and permanent housing options for people, whether it is housing options that address critical needs that are simply affordable, or that we even have the units where the market will not drive the rental costs up quite so high. While some of the 861 residents that were in the current response system will find fair market housing, it'll be very few, and new people are still becoming homeless regularly. There are almost 3 times as many crisis response beds as there are permanent housing options. And that actually creates a crisis because it's harder to meet the needs of those individuals and get them into their homes, into their permanent homes. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time walking through point in time, primarily because the county's here and it's the county that runs the point in time project. Though I did provide a printed copy of their report for you to reference, though I'm certain that Esther provided that as well, but just in case you had any questions during the presentation. I will point out that it's important to note that point in time does not answer the question, how many people are homeless? And I would urge you to be cautious of anyone that just gives you one number to that question, how many people are homeless? And the purposes of this chart is to say nobody knows the exact number of people that are homeless. I've put on here 3 different ways that it is measured. Point in time has some advantages because it includes all of our emergency shelter, encampments, and emergency shelter encampments, transitional housing and transitional housing units, whether they use the database called HMIS that we track or not. So that includes Union Gospel Mission, it includes Yakima Nation, and all the programs that receive funding from Yakima County. But it's only one night, so someone could experience homelessness on July 1st and be housed on July 10th, and they would not be included in these numbers. HMIS, however, does track everyone who receives services during a year. You see that number is very different from the point in time number. But it only includes those providers which use HMIS. So it's not a complete snapshot of the county. OSPI tracks children. They include couch surfers in their number.
All right. To watch the rest of this, I'm going to drop the link. To watch the rest of this, it's important. What we want to do, though, is I'm going to show you why this is important. And I'm going to show you who owns Sarg Hubbard Park. So there is the link to this actual thing. So if you want to, I don't want to bore you guys to death, but they're using old numbers over the last 2 years. Rent has skyrocketed. I agree 100%. Now I'm going to show you. So if you want to gather everybody from the community, let's see why they roped off where all the trailers were parked over there. Let's see why I want accountability held here to the city of Yakima. So this is going to be your accountability. And if they're having the next study session, if they're having anything, I want to tell you something. I want answers. Later on in this segment that that I'm not showing here. I want to know why you want to pay for lighting in your parks instead of fixing the cameras that are already there. Once programs help them get places how keep the place, most don't have jobs to pay for utilities bills. It's a very complex issue than not having housing. I agree 100%. The homeless population there is very great. They have a very big, huge problem. And I don't know if they get federal funding for it. I don't know if they can build some type of thing for all of them to live in. But we're going to get to who owns the park. And I just want to make sure nothing's on here. Nothing's on here. All right. This is what we've all been waiting for. Yakima County here. View map, property tax, printable version or print. 111 South 18th Street, Yakima. 74 recreational, tax code 333, property size 27.46 acres, neighborhood C301, Yakima City, owners. So even though that the foundation takes care of the park, even though they take care of it, doesn't mean that they're responsible for it. Who's responsible for that park is the city. So, to the city that wants to hold study sessions, let's have a study session. Do those cameras work? Do they work? Furthermore, if knowing that they don't work and less lighting, who's responsible for the lighting? It would be the owners of the property, right? So the owners of the property are in charge of the camera system. Even if the foundation put them up there themselves, they should be helping to maintain them. And if you can get federal funding for homeless stuff, you can get federal funding if you have a large homeless population into a park to get the cameras to work. And maybe those cameras do work. Maybe they don't. We don't know the answer to that because everybody's kept quiet. So what is it? Do those cameras work or don't they work? If those cameras worked, there would be a definite thing that says that those cameras work. If those cameras, maybe there's something on there that they know that they need to keep from the public to keep Lucian safe. We don't know that answer. Will we ever know that answer? Probably not. This will probably get swept underneath the rug, whether those cameras work or not work. I think that it is public knowledge whether they work or they don't work. And if they don't work, they should get those fixed before they go around and start putting a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of lighting into the park. What's lighting going to help? I'm so pro camera for this reason. Yeah, well, you have a huge, large population of homeless people there, and a lot of different people. I don't know. I want to know if they work or if they don't work. Can we get a statement from the city? Can somebody write the city? Can a family member go over to the city and ask them if not the police department, the city does. So it should be a simple yes or no. We called the other day to see who owned the park, and they told us the foundation did. They've tried to lessen the homeless in the park because of fires they have started. We want answers. I want answers. You know, maybe it takes me calling them and asking them. Road frontage, road. I mean, it's declared right here on Yakima County that they own that park. So when people called there the other day and figured out who owned the park, they said the foundation doesn't own that park. That was pushing it off onto something else that they knew that we wouldn't get through to. The foundation is just, it's a money organization to maintain the park and allow employees there. Maybe it's not in the budget. The residents are owed honesty answers. Yes, they are. And I want to know, I mean, do those cameras work or don't they? I'd imagine the ones over there by the shed work, because I'd imagine that the foundation has equipment in them. I'd imagine, I mean, if they don't work, they don't work. But at least we need to know if he was seen on video camera footage. It's still not clear to me whether he was seen or he wasn't. There was a statement that was in quotes in many articles that say that it doesn't say yes or no. And if we have to call and get the yes and no answers, I guess that's what we're going to start doing, is calling and getting the yes and no answers. You have a family out here that has a missing loved one, and I don't know if they're getting answers as well. I do know this. It's been since September 10th. It is October 3rd, and that's way too long for a missing child to be out there on their own. We need answers. You need to at least update us that you're still working the investigation. Was he seen on camera? Yes or no? Was he what? Obviously, we don't have a definitive answer. You guys were very transparent in the beginning of all of this until you started pulling out your resources. And there has to be a reason why you're pulling out your resources. And it's the public's right, transparency. Yeah, it is. And we as a community here, and I know there's a lot of people that were watching this earlier, and a lot of things dwindled down as I got into some of the homeless stuff. Everyone's always passing the buck to someone else. It just goes on and on. I've noticed that, Barb, in a lot of cases that keeps going on. I want to pull up a thing here. Just give me a second. I was replying to somebody. We're going to go back to the park here. We're going to take a look at this map here real quick. We're going to go to Google Maps. We're going to take a look at the park again. All right, so here's the park. Let me just take this back down here 1 second. 11 new messages. Wow. All right, we're going to take it. Maybe they need to ask public that was there if they took any pictures. What does it say? I believe this has already happened. Maybe they need to ask public that was there if they took any pictures or videos to go through them and see if they spotted anything with Lucian in them. I think that's already happened. But now, since everybody's left that park, them remembering who was there and who wasn't there, they probably have to go back and look at body cam footage. And I don't know. I imagine that police officers there wear body cam footage. But I need to go back through and listen to those calls. What I want to look at, though, here is this is the Greenway. This Greenway continues. So here's the Greenway, Yakima Greenway continues. It continues along the river here. Yakima Greenway continues down here. And it continues. And it comes out. There's a plot here. So this Greenway comes all the way down here. I just want to see something else. Make sure it doesn't continue. Where am I at? Union Gap. Yeah, so it ends here. So the Greenway ends. The Greenway ends all the way down here in Union Gap, which comes out to a parking lot here. And that's a long stretch. I mean, that's all the way from up here all the way down here to Union Gap. It's a long, long ways. So I don't see it possible with the cameras that are at this building, whether they work or they don't. There has to be cameras at this building here. There's too much equipment there for cameras not to be here and not work. And I know there's cameras here, but do they work? Also, we know that there's Walmart cameras. So if you're to take a child out of this park without getting caught, unless there was motorhomes and stuff parked here that these cameras couldn't see, and you knowing that those cameras couldn't see, then you can just sneak right out this way. But I'm not going by that. The only other way out is coming all the way down and around, or coming down and out this way. But I would highly think that there is multiple cameras here at this Ready Mix place. They got too much equipment and different stuff here. Also, I'd imagine that these guys have cameras here at these junkyards as well. I do know that this street here, once you get over to here, that these apartment buildings, I'm sure, have cameras going to the other park. But where there is not cameras is coming across here, down here on the Greenway. And there is another little trail here coming in here. But the Greenway also comes out here. There's a big parking lot here. Some stores and stuff. I mean, it comes all the way down here into a whole nother parking lot. That's a lot of ground there. Looks like there's another concrete place here, or a quarry or something here. But you'd have to go across the river. And I'm not saying that that's not a possibility either. I mean, I don't know. I know the river flows quickly, but there is a road right here on the parking lot, or on the river too. So the river's not very wide right here. It's an easy way to get across. And then there's just a little tiny little thing right here. Just some thoughts that I have going through my head here on this one. The other thing is if everybody went this way to the river, what about coming back around and going this way on the trail? Coming back around this way. I don't know how heavy that brush is, but there's another park along here someplace. I mean, you're right along the expressway here. Here, let's see. What did I miss? The sheriff can't get anyone to work with body cam footage because no one can pass a background check. When you only want to pay 17 something an hour, it would be difficult to get good help. Wow. Agreed. And there's Humane Society down the Greenway also, unless someone grabbed him and went right across the river. Yeah. Hello, Jimmy. Yeah. I just was trying to see where the Greenway ends here. It looks like the Greenway goes a long ways this way. I mean, it goes a long ways. So those are just different things that I've observed here in the in trying to find Lucian here. With them using the heat-seeking drones and stuff, I don't think Lucian's anywhere in this park. I don't think he's in the river. They searched this lake for sure, 100%. And I don't think that he's in here because I was told that they searched this. It would be nice if they could come out and say that the waterways are clear. The two lakes here. And any of this other stuff here, I'd imagine that they were searched. I don't know, though. We need like a search update in what's been cleared and what has been searched. The other thing is if they used heat-seeking drones, where did they go? Did they go all through all this over here, this here? Did they do all of this and this side here? I mean, drones don't take long to see if there's heat-seeking signatures there. It doesn't take long to fly over this property and figure out the different temperatures. I don't know. And what's the 5-mile radius around this park? I don't know. Probably bigger than that. Probably what's on the screen here. So those are just some questions that I have going through my head here. Definitely need to take a look at, let's see if we can see if anything new came on while I've been live here. This one says updated, but hold on here. I just want to make sure I'm not showing you something that's not. And no thanks to that one. I don't see anything new. I just want to search one more way. Just to make sure here. I mean, this Buchanan Lake is a pretty big lake. Scale back to search efforts. September 13th, 6 days ago, 5 days ago, 3 weeks ago. We're going to play this. And Mom, if you're listening, this is a good little clip for you.
Four-year-old last seen in Yakima Park. The question remains, where is Lucian Munguia? The community expressing concern for the missing child. Good evening, I'm Jason Valentine.
And I'm Alyssa Warner in for Madeline Hagan tonight. Now, nearly 72 hours since that 4-year-old went missing out of Yakima, there is still no sign of him.
In a story you'll only see here on Cap KView, Emily Goodell spoke to the parents about their little boy and how you can help bring him home.
His name is Lucian Munguia, a 4-year-old boy who plays and laughs and loves fish. Now he's gone.
We're Lucian's parents. I'm his mom and this is his dad. We're just wanting Lucian to come home.
Sandra Munguia says it started with a trip Saturday evening to Sarg Hubbard Park. Lucian and his 6-year-old brother wanted to play.
They run down the hill a lot. That's their favorite thing to do, is run up and roll down.
And their 2-year-old daughter needed a diaper change, but Dad didn't go far.
He was in the car that was parked right in front of the toys where they were. And it was like, he's the diaper changer in the world, and that's all it takes is a blink of an eye.
Investigators say they believe Lucian left the playground alone, headed south and east. They don't suspect foul play, but the family says they don't think he's hiding.
He doesn't even get the concept of hide and seek.
He comes out before you find him.
He won't even go hide. He'll follow my son to go play hide and seek, and then he gives away my son.
Lucian has autism, but he isn't nonverbal.
His English is broken up. It's not full sentences, but he still talks. His name's Lucian. We call him Shushi. We call him Shushinato. Little.
Right now, family members need volunteers to help search for Lucian.
You guys are welcome to come and meet with us. Someone in our family will meet with you by the picnic tables.
Up by the toys.
By the toy area.
Park in the gravel down there by the sheriff's, or up here by the toys.
You can also pick up flyers to put up around town.
Print Guys is actually helping us a lot on this. They're donating a lot of flyers every day.
And if you see something, say something immediately.
Not 2 hours later, just take the second to drop what you're doing and call 911. If you have him, just drop him off where he's going to be found. Just let him go. He wants to come home. My 2-year-old daughter misses him. My 6-year-old misses him. We miss him.
In Yakima, Emily Goodell, Cap KVU, local news.
Where is Lucian? Seen this too many times where the parents call out and we don't get updated. As I see in other abduction cases, it's kind of left up to that of the people. I do believe the council stands behind the family, but at what cost is the council, the city, responsible for those cameras working or not working? They own the property. Those cameras are I don't know. I'm gonna have to go figure out this foundation and see where that money goes back to when they do fundraisers and stuff. It is ultimately the city's responsibility for that park. They're the owners of it. They may have a contract with the foundation to run and operate it, but that has nothing to do with those cameras that are there. Those should be city property. And I want to make it clear that we have the right to know whether those cameras work or don't work, especially since that's city property. That's a simple yes or no. If they do work, then let's let the investigators do their job. If they don't work, then we need to figure out other ways to spread his name out there and to put the flyers out there. I mean, we're talking about a 4-year-old here that hasn't been at home since September 10th, and it could be anywhere out there now at this point in time. So let's all do our part here. Let's share his poster. Let's do what we can. Let's say positive things. Let's show some hearts and some fishes here in the chat as we close this one out. And I'll probably be live again on another case here in a little bit. So be on the lookout for that, as we're not going away from Lucian. I just need some explanation on should be cameras everywhere children are playing. In my opinion, I mean, we are camera crazy in our own government nowadays. Yes, 100%. And I mean, it's such heartbreaking to see a family have to go through this time after time again, where their family member goes missing, they get bashed and stuff, and will come later to find out the investigation leads them down a tract of them being abducted. And we need to stand behind the family. do what they ask of us. Help spread his poster out there. Do the right thing. See something, say something. If you're in the community of Yakima and you saw something that day, it's time for you to come forward. And it could be the smallest, tiniest thing. Even if you remembered where the car was parked, even if you remember that there was a party at that pavilion, even if you remember like you're one of the people at the pavilion, come back forward, go back to a police station, try to remember everything that you remember from that day. We have it on the 911, the dispatch tapes that nobody saw them. Nobody saw nothing over there at that party that was there. So we definitely need you guys to come forward and start speaking. Maybe the smallest little thing will help bring this boy home. Until next time, if you see something, say something.